Okay, it is now 7:23, and we will call the Monday, December 19th meeting to order. Roll call, please, Deputy Clerk.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seeger. Present. Alderman Mosio.
Here.
Alderman Kirkwood. Present. Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Here.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Florian.
Here.
Alderman Hayes.
Here.
Madam Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Deputy Chief, or Deputy Clerk. I have trouble with that tonight, I'm going to tell you. I'd like to have the invocation by Pastor Paul Jones from the Living Waters Cathedral at 715 South Genesee come up and give our invocation. Sure. Thank you very much.
Would you bow your heads as I pray? Most holy and all-wise God, we come today to invoke your presence in this gathering of leadership in the city of Waukegan. We humbly ask that you be with us as we seek collectively to govern the people of this growing metropolis. As we share with one another, let us abide in peace so that meaningful solutions to complex problems may go forth. In the midst of perhaps a political atmosphere, let not political correctness prevail at the expense of truth, but let us and help us to always stand on the foundation of what is right. Father, we thank you for these aldermen and alderwomen who serve their wards with distinction. May they continue to stand together for a greater Waukegan. We pray that they be steadfast in character, be of mortal fortitude, and resolute in heart, considering all things as they cast votes, even on tonight. We pray for our schools, the students, and the educators in Waukegan as well. Keep them safe in our halls of learning. We pray for the safety of our citizens and equitable standing for all. From our police and firefighters, we pray, Lord, that they would return home to their families every night when their shifts are done. From our public libraries to our public works, we pray for the protection of these public servants as they serve. We thank you, Lord, for our mayor. We ask you to stand with her, strengthen her, encourage her as she stands at the helm of leadership. Help her to navigate a course toward victory and promise. Crown her head with wisdom, always remembering your word. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And so it is that we rely on you, O God. Here at the last City Council meeting in 2022, we look with hope at the advent of 2023. And in this season of celebrating the Christ child, you are indeed who St. Matthew declares in his gospel account to be. You are Emmanuel, God with us. And so, Lord, be with us today, this day, and forevermore. In the name of Christ I pray. In the name of Jesus, the Christos. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, I want to welcome everyone this evening to our City Council meeting. For those of you who don't know, our agendas go out on the Friday before our meetings, so please feel free to download those, look at them. Like I said, all our meetings are there for the public to see. We want to conduct our business in transparency, so please take advantage of going on the agenda and seeing those. Tonight, we will take a vote on whether or not to put a city manager on the referendum for the citizens to decide in April. We will do education if this goes on a referendum. We will explain so that people understand how their vote will be affected. We have been talking about this for a good 18 months in different formats. So tonight is just the vote whether or not to put it on the referendum or not, and let the citizens decide. I think for those of you who were here early, you saw the Professional Management Association talk about what a city manager does and the cost savings it can be for a city. It can help our credit rating, it can give us a strategic plan, it can get us going forward and truly be the city of progress that Waukegan deserves to be. After that, I want to talk a little bit about the holidays. As many of you are celebrating your holidays, whether it be Hanukkah, Simigabi, Christmas, Kwanzaa, or the New Year, the holidays bring lots of joy and happiness for those who celebrate, but there's also some risks here. I want to talk a little bit about vaccines. For those of you who haven't noticed, our COVID rates are going up in Lake County. Please be careful. If you're not vaccinated, take this opportunity to update yourself and get those boosters. We're all going to be home during the winter. Sounds like starting this weekend, we're going to have enough snow. We're going to be locked in the house. Let's make sure we're protected. Also, the holidays are a time of joy, but not for everyone. We just saw this last week with the suicide death of Twitch. Let's understand, not everyone is in a good place right now after COVID. If you have a family member or a friend that needs some help, please get them the help that they need. Sit down and talk to them. Please have them understand that the new suicide number is 988, and that is the suicide prevention number. It is so important that we are there for our families during this struggling time, and we want to make sure that everybody can have a joyous holiday and that we can all enjoy each other. I want to talk a little bit about crime. We are now on winter break for our students. I'm going to ask parents, please, keep track of where your kids are. We are having an increase in crime with our juveniles. We need to be working as a community to make sure that we are watching what our children are doing. Sometimes they make poor choices in life. Let's not let those poor choices affect the rest of their life. I go back to this, I've said it before. Remember, some of us are old enough to remember those old commercials. It's 10 o'clock, do you know where your children are? You should know that. Know who their friends are. Know what they're doing. Because if you're not raising them, the streets will raise them for you. Our children matter. Let's be there for them. Let's help them. I also want to remind people that December 22nd, we will be swearing in new police officers that I believe, and Chief Zupek, you can help me with this, I believe that will bring us up to 155 officers, which is, I think, the highest we've had in quite some time. So I'm really proud of that we are continuing to be able to attract fine people to our department. And again, I just want to remind people, please come, welcome them to the Waukegan Police Department. And that is Thursday, December 22nd, this Thursday at 2 p.m. right here in the chambers. Property tax bills have gone out. I'll remind residents that the City of Waukegan did not increase the tax levy. If your tax bill increased this year, please keep in mind that other taxing bodies have raised their rates, or your property's assessed value may have gone up. So I don't want to turn around and say, yes, we've done a zero tax levy, and then somebody come back to us and say, my property tax bill still went up. That would be the reason why. Over the past few weeks, a number of well-known Waukeganites have passed away, and I, along with the city council members and city staff, want to offer our condolences, particularly to the families of Mark Reckling, Ginger Durkin, and I also want to offer condolences to the Fox Lake Mayor, Donnie Schmidt, on the passing of his wife, Cindy. Congratulations to the Waukegan High School music program students who received the Illinois Music Education Association awards. It makes me proud when our children succeed and do well for our community, because what they learn now leads to their success in the future. The gifted honorees were Maximo Arrelan for violin in senior orchestra, Ahani Zuniga for alto 1 in senior chorus, Gustavo for tenor sax in senior jazz band 3, and Jose Hinoso for trumpet in senior band. Way to go, Bulldogs. Congratulations to the Waukegan Youth Football Junior Bulldogs on their championship season. It really goes to show Waukegan's young people are still the best of the best. We will be presenting them with awards into the new year. Again, I just want to make sure that everybody has had a chance. We've had so many events in the city over the last few weeks, whether it be toy drives, whether it be the tree lighting. Again, it has been so great to see our community come together and enjoy these activities together, because this is truly Waukegan. Last event I want to announce is on January 1st at 10 a.m. It's our Polar Plunge. This raises money for the special recreation services of the Northern Lake County, located right here in Waukegan. And the City and Park District I want to thank all the sponsors, most of all the plungers. And you still have time to sign up, Alderman Hayes, at waukeganparks.org/plunge. He is the only one brave enough to do it. So I want to give him kudos for doing it. Again, this is one of the last things for the year. We now all hear that we're going to have some snow on the ground for it, so that'll be great. But again, these are community events. Please come out and enjoy them. It is amazing when you get out and you see how many people in our community are enjoying some of these events. And I have had the best time over the last 3 weeks. It's been crazy busy, but it's been so joyous to see our residents out there and enjoying time and getting out and getting away from that COVID-type atmosphere that we've been in for a while. We all need to be part of to enjoy each other and be part of that crowd. We're just social people, and we need to get back out there and do that. So with that, I will say happy holidays to everyone, and we'll go ahead with the rest of the meeting. Deputy Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Number 2, your resolutions, proclamations, presentations, and appointments. First, we had the proclamations for the Waukegan Sports Hall of Fame class of 2020 and 22. Those were presented in person by Mayor Taylor at the Bonnybrook Golf Course Clubhouse on December 10th, and they were entered into the record and are available on our paperless agenda site, Board Docs, the 10 of them. Did you want to speak on anything else?
I just want to say, for those of you who do not know, we have some outstanding athletes in Waukegan that have gone on to become very successful entrepreneurs and business people. This was a great opportunity to meet these people. They flew in from all over the country. Not only did we do it at Bonnybrook, but we also presented at halftime at the softball basketball game at the Dog Pound. So if you get a chance, go on and look at some of the pictures and read their bios. They've just contributed a lot, and I was so grateful to have the opportunity to sit down with them and just learn of their backgrounds. Deputy Chief?
Next to your appointments.
Okay. Is Jane Hayes here? Jane, would you just like to stand up? I'm not going to ask you to speak, but as we make the appointments for these committees, I like the alderman. You've got her resume, but I also like you to see who you're appointing. Can I have a motion on item B? I need a first and a second.
I'll motion.
Second. Okay. Alderman Rivera, Alderman Hayes, second. The motion is a ratification of the mayoral appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission of Jane Hayes. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood, Alderman Newsome,
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Jane, for accepting this. We appreciate your service to the community, and thank you for doing it. Item C is the resolution. Can I have to ratify for civil service?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Alderman Turner was first. Second was Alderman Newsome. Any questions to the motion before I read it? Okay. This is, can you please stand? I'm sorry. That. Some of you may know Mr. Hodo, but he has been around before, so you might know him. Do you want to, I know you want to speak. Do you want to give us a little bit of background?
Did 6 years in the Navy. After that, that's when I began my venture into law enforcement. Community service officer for approximately a year. After that, I was hired on to North Chicago Police Department. I worked there for almost a year. Then I came back to Waukegan, and that's where I finished my career. Since being retired, I've worked with the CLE Association, Cool Learning Environment. It's a youth program. I've mentored youth there, and it's been very rewarding. I plan on continuing my community service with the city. I was graciously appointed as a commissioner, and we look forward to hiring more police officers.
Thank you so much. We've got a first and second. Am I correct on this one?
Yep.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Sure. Alderman Bolton,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo, Alderman Kirkwood, Alderman Newsome,
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Florian, Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Our sincere thanks in you doing this. We appreciate your service. Next, I would like Steve Snarsky to stand up. There we go. Steve is looking to become part of the Waukegan Historic Preservation Commission. Again, you all have his resume. Can I have a first?
I'll first.
Alderman Rivera, second Alderman Hayes. Any questions to the motion? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton,
Aye.
Alderman Seager, Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood, Alderman Newsome,
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Florian, Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Steve, I don't want to put you on the spot, but did you want to say anything? You don't have to. You don't have to. But if you'd like to, you could.
I mean, it's an honor and a privilege. Continuing to better understand the rich history that Waukegan has to offer and continuing to appreciate that going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Last, I guess you want to stand up for, or, I'm sorry. You,
No,
okay.
you're on there. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. hit
I'm
it.
actually going to just leave you to introduce yourself because I think everybody knows you, so I want you to talk because, you know, I think everybody up here is familiar, right? Mr. Guer- No?
Jarina.
Okay.
Pastor
Mr. Green, have,
My name is Pastor Jesus Herrera, and the pastor of Iglesia del Año. We started our church here in excuse my voice. I had a lot of fun watching the soccer match yesterday. So I am excited to be part of this community. 14 years ago, my wife and I made the move from Humboldt Park in Chicago, where I was raised, and came to this community to work and establish a ministry. Today, our ministry has branched out to be able to reach cities in Mexico, Chicago, and some of the places that we're working with. But the majority of the work and the hub of the work that we do is here in Waukegan. We're very involved with the Waukegan Housing Authority, and you've seen the development that has taken place. And I'm so excited to be part of that redevelopment of the housing authority and our community in general. I also serve as a board member for the Vista East Medical Center and at the advisory council here at the College of Lake County. I'm very excited to be here because I see the change and the progress that Waukegan is headed. We're far from being a perfect city. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to do ministry. And it's a great place to have wonderful neighbors. So I'm excited to be here. I love being part of this community. Love serving the Waukegan Housing Authority and seeing the changes that the Housing Authority is making in our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So I have a first step motion by Alderman Newsom. Can I have a second? Alderman Rivera. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton?
Aye.
Alderman Seager? Alderman Mozio? Alderman Kirkwood? Alderman Newsom?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Alderman Florian? Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Can I have all of them for a picture? Yeah. Can all four of you come up for a picture in the center? No, I'm slow. Again, I just want to thank them for their service. People do not understand when you go on boards in the community, it's a big commitment, and we can't do it without you. So again, one last thank you. Audience time.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. Audience time, you'll state your name, and you have 3 minutes. I'm going to call the first. It looks like we only have 4 tonight. We're going to call them all up. You'll line up on the east side of the room. Devon Leroy, Brother Blanks, Clyde McLemore, and Rayon Edwards. And you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Devon Leroy. I'm just a basketball coach at the Field House.
Raise the mic up.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
My name is Devon Leroy. I'm a basketball coach at the Field House. Also, I help the kids with conflict resolution, to try to help them before things spill over into the streets and leading to something different. But one of the kids brought to me email that was sent to the police chief, I think last week, and it's basically, I think Margaret Carrasco, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but I don't know if she has a problem with Sam Cunningham, and she's saying that he was threatening her. And so I guess her resolution for that is basically she let the police chief know that she might need help, but also that her and her team has FOID cards. And so the kids were asking me, what does that mean? And so basically it sounds like what I told them is the same thing in the streets. You know, if somebody's coming up to you and you have a problem and they tell you that they have a FOIA card, what does that mean? And so I just don't think that for if the kids to see this, it's not conducive what I'm trying to teach them or what anybody else in here is trying to teach them as a community. So I don't know exactly what's going on, but it said that it was in the 1st Ward, which I know is down the street, and I stay over there too. So I just want somebody probably looking at that before anything else happens, because we're trying to do our part with the kids, but this is not kids, this is adults. And these are like people that we're electing in the office. So that's all I really had to say. It was just to bring that up for everybody. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brother Blanks?
Brother Blanks, founder and chief president of Black Abolition Movement for the Mind. Dick, come on up. When we come to the city, and oftentimes, take some pictures. You're supposed to be recording. You take some pictures. Yeah, when we get ready to present this. Oftentimes we come to the city and we are challenging the city on issues of regarding violence, regarding crime. However, at Black Abolition Movement for the Mind, we also feel that it is the citizens, as citizens and organizations of the community, we equally share a part in being proactive and preventive in that process. So tonight, what I'm here to do tonight is, in the essence, I don't know how many lives we've saved by trying to be proactive and preventive, but tonight, Mr. Calvin Mathis, I want to take this time, we want to present this to you, because in our efforts of being proactive and preventive in violence, as we look at the city here, we're taking the time to get this to you to say thank you for getting off the bench, for coming over there and helping us to be proactive and preventive, because we as citizens, we have an obligation. I would feel remiss if I come down here to challenge the city and to ask them to do more, and we as a citizen and as a community is not doing our part to make sure that we do things to try to decrease the violence. But this man got off the bench here, he came forward, and I just want to say on behalf of Black Abolition Movement for the Mind, thank you. The work that you do and the effort that you put forth with our youth in the community is inexpendable, the time that you have put forth to aid and assist us. Get a picture right quick while we got a few seconds. And the reason I'm doing this at the city, because he is working to help us with our youth and our citizens of the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Clyde McLemore?
Dear Lord.
Clyde McLemore, Black Lives Matter, Lake County. On December 13, 11/25, the chief, the mayor, and the city attorney received an email from Margaret Carresso demanding protection while her and her team go through the 1st Ward to get signatures, try to get this referendum on the ballot. At the end of her email, she put a statement. Please note, I and my entire team have legal FOIA cards. So what that's telling me, you are walking up to strangers, asking them to sign a petition with a gun on you. She's putting our citizens at risk. Mayor, are you that desperate, trying to get a city administrator that you are sending your people out there with guns on them? Has politics gotten that bad? The worst, that's worse than the insurrection on January the 6th. I supported you, Mayor, and you have been nothing but divisive. You have done nothing but try to separate us. You have lied, you have manipulated this whole office. Alderman, don't y'all see the manipulation? Are y'all looking at the spending, what's going on? I watch each and every one of you sit there and vote to send a fire truck to Mexico. I don't care if it was a bike with a hose. We need to take care of our own. Had a black man or woman sent an email like that, the chief and an investigation would have started, and they would have took their guns because the insanity of that email. to the citizens of Waukegan. Again, you may not like me or what I stand for. I plead you not to sign that petition. We don't need no city manager, city administrator. We need a mayor to do our damn job. I risk my life and freedom on a daily basis fighting against injustice, and injustice is happening right here at City Hall.
Thank you, Mr. McLemore. Mr. Rayon Edwards.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I want to take this time out to come up here today to thank each and every last one of y'all for everything that y'all did for my kids Saturday, man. They had the time of their life. We was able to serve over 150 kids. And for me, that's what community is. Seeing all of y'all come there, engaging with them, talking with them, telling them who y'all are and what y'all do was a way to motivate them to want to be one of these things when they grow up. So I appreciate that, and I thank y'all. It meant a lot to me, and it meant a lot to them. So I want to come here tonight to say that. I also wanted to encourage everybody, man. I don't know what we're gonna do going into 2023. Is we gonna keep fighting? Is we gonna keep playing politics over humanity? It's getting so overrated. Mayor, during your comments, you acknowledged some people that have lost their lives. And quite often, we do that a lot with people that have a title behind their name. But Cheyenne Hayes, she was 25 years old. She had 3 babies. 3 babies. And she was slaughtered on Waukegan Road. She had a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 2-year-old. I want people to say her name too. Because for Christmas, as we say, this is the holiday season. It's supposed to be about loving and giving. Who's gonna give those babies? And so when I come up here a lot and I talk about the importance of police, I'm so sick and tired of race. My grandmother used to tell me, when you cut that skin, everything gets red. That's what she used to say to me. I never understood that. And it's race, and it's race, and it's race. And a lot of times we are tying ourselves to these people that feel like that. These personal emails going out and our kids being able to get those and read those, it's troubling. And it should be troubling for each and every last one of y'all up here. We ain't gonna get nothing done. We ain't gonna advance nowhere as a city, as a people, if we keep going like this. So as everybody, including myself, as we go through this holiday season, I ask y'all to do some self-reflecting. Let's ask ourselves, what is we here for? What are we here to do? I come to these city council meetings, and oftentimes I'm seeing awards being given. All day, every week, every council meeting. I've been in this city for 44 years. My grandfather came here in 1923. I've seen 5 mayors sit at my grandfather's table at 595 South Utica, Apartment 5. Utica Projects. He sold candy in that community for 28 years. I ain't never seen this much done for my community for so many awards to be given out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That concludes audience time.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, we're going to do, I have to pardon my voice. We're going to do the consent agenda. We can either do it as an omnibus later, or if you'd like to move items up to the consent agenda, we could do that. Would you just prefer to have the consent agenda as it is? And then do the others as an omnibus?
That might be easier, Mayor.
Okay,
It doesn't matter
okay.
to me.
Can I have a motion to do all of the consent agenda items?
That's A through H, correct?
A through H, yes.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Alderman Turner was first, second, Alderman Mozio.
Yes.
Any questions to the motion or anything that you'd like to pull out? Okay.
Pull out the V, W, and X.
No, it's just the
It's
consent agenda.
Okay.
A through H.
Thank you.
Okay, item A, motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, November 21st, 2022. Item B, a motion to approve the committee of the whole meeting minutes from Monday, December 5th, 2022. Item C, motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, December 5th, 2022. Item D, a motion to approve vendor payments dated December 19th, 2022 in the total amount of $2,417,578.44. Item E, a motion to approve the regular payroll dated December 16th, 2022 in a total amount of $1,671,867.34. Item F, a motion to approve miscellaneous payroll, PD holiday buyback and comp time elected officials and civil service stipend, and PD uniform allowance dated December 16th, 2022 in a total amount of $143,722.23. Item G, a motion to approve miscellaneous payroll, final payout and vacation sellback dated December 2nd in the total amount of $3,188.70. Item H, a resolution approving a change order number 2 to the professional services agreement with Convergence Strategy Group in the not-to-exceed amount of $5,000 for additional casino market and feasibility studies. This matter was presented to the Committee of the Whole on December 5th, 2022. Roll call, please, Deputy Clerk.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mosio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian. Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Now, I will look for an omnibus on these items, but we will pull out some that,
I'd like to obviously pull out V, W, X, and Y, and if the
G,
council would like to, we could move those to the front.
okay, wait, I didn't get them all. You want to move, what one?
V,
V, okay.
W, X, Y. We all know that's the elephant in the room.
Okay, so V, W, X, and Y, right? Okay,
and T and U.
I don't know if
Okay.
we can make a motion to move them up to the top, but that's,
so I would like to make a motion to put everything from A through S. Everything after that are liquor licenses and the city manager, so we need to pull those out.
good enough.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion again for item A through S. Yes, I need to ask for a motion, I'm sorry, Alderman Rivera, Alderman Hayes, second. So it's for items A through S.
What
Any-
about them?
What?
What about them?
It's the omnibus, okay. Any questions to the motions?
We'll just vote A through S, that won't take long, and then we'll address the other ones after that. No need to move those up,
Right.
correct?
Do we have to read them all? No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the mayor has asked for a motion to take items A through S on new business, all of which items were deemed non-controversial and had been heard previously at committee meetings. This does not include the 2 liquor license matters for the casino, nor does it include any of the 4 referenda motions that have been discussed at prior committee meetings. So if, I'm not sure if we actually got a first and a second on that. Okay.
So, any questions to items A through S?
Yes.
Item A, a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Waukegan and the IAFF Local 7473. This matter was presented at the Code Revisions Appeals and Negotiations on December 19th, 2022. Item B, a resolution to approve the government agreement with the County for the use of the Madison Street Mall. Item C, resolution to transfer the Genesee Theater windows currently in storage to to the Waukegan Historical Society. Item D, a resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to change order number 2 with the Aircon refrigeration and heating for an amount of $33,067. This matter was presented at the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee meeting on December 19th, 2022. Item E, a resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to approve a resolution for an amendment number 1 to the IGA RTA for Pace Route Improvement. Public Works and Infrastructure Committee. Item F, a resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to advance approval F550 for an amount of $19,013 in fiscal year 2020 budget. This matter was presented at the Public Works and Infrastructure 1922. I'm going to have Alderman Newsom read some of the others. I might go on a coughing fit, so I'll have her finish some of.
Did you step in? Item H?
G.
IG? Okay. Resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to approve a resolution awarding the City Hall window replacement of damaged windows bid to IG Commercial for a not-to-exceed amount of $298,000. This matter was presented at the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee meeting on December 19th, 2022. Item H, resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to approve a resolution awarding the raw water pumping station improvements bid to Bowler Construction for an amount not to exceed $3,133,800. This matter was presented at the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee meeting on December 19th, 2022. Item I. Resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to approve a resolution awarding the RFP for the OCCT study to Baxter and Woodman for an amount not to exceed $260,100. This matter was presented at the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee meeting on December 19th, 2022. Item J, resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to approve a resolution for the purchase of a vehicle per section 2-458, subsection I, subsection 7, good faith waiver from Curry Motors, Frankfurt, for a not-to-exceed amount of $30,590. This matter was presented at the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee meeting on December 19th, 2022. Item K, resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to approve a resolution approving the change of funding for watershed permit reviews to Ciorba. This matter was presented at the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee on December 19, 2022. Item L, resolution approving and authorizing the proper city officials to approve a resolution for approval for purchase of 2 Ford Explorers per section 2-458, subsection I, subsection 7, good faith waiver from Wheels of Chicago Incorporated for an amount of $51,648.48. This matter was presented at the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee meeting on December 19th. Item M, motion to adopt an ordinance levying and assessing taxes of the City of Waukegan, Lake County, Illinois, for the 2022 tax levy year. This matter was presented at the Finance and Purchasing Committee meeting on December 19th, 2022. Item N, motion to approve an ordinance abating in full the sum of $278,000 due in payment of principal and interest on the $7,005,000 general obligation bond, Series 2015A of the City of Waukegan. This matter was presented at the Finance and Purchasing Committee on December 19, 2022. Item O, motion to approve an ordinance abating in full the sum of $671,450 due in payment of principal and interest on the $6,850,000 general obligation bonds, Series 2016A of the City of Waukegan. This matter was presented at the Finance and Purchasing Committee on December 19th, 2022. Item P, motion to approve an ordinance abating in full the sum of $1,073,100 due in payment of principal and interest on the $14,860,000 general obligation bond, Series 2018A of the City of Waukegan. This matter was presented at the Finance and Purchasing Committee on December 19th, 2022. Item Q, motion to approve an ordinance abating in full the sum of $1,015,600 due in payment of principal and interest on the $12,815,000 taxable general obligation bonds, Series 2021A, McGaw Park TIF project. This matter was presented at the Finance and Purchasing Committee on December 19th, 2022. Item R, motion to approve an ordinance abating in full the sum of $1,942,156 due in payment of principal and interest on the $31,180,000 taxable general obligation bond, Series 2021B, McGaw Park TIF project. This matter was presented at the Finance and Purchasing Committee on December 19th, 2022. Item S, resolution approving the acceptance of ComEd and the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus Powering the Holidays grant. This matter was presented at the Finance and Purchasing Committee on December 19th, 2022, and I so move.
Thank you, Alderman Newsom, for helping me out.
No problem.
The next one, I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mosio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Item T and U involve liquor licenses. These two go together, right? Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, they're both liquor licenses, authorizing liquor licenses for the facilities that will be at the temporary casino. One is for the general casino floor, and then the other is for the restaurants. There's actually going to be 3 restaurants, but one of them is going to share a service area, so we're authorizing the proposed ordinance authorizes the creation of 2 Class E licenses. It would be advisable to consider these together, although we haven't had a motion in a second. I would note that Alderman Kirkwood has recused himself and left the dais, as is his practice and our advice for all liquor matters.
Need a motion to combine them?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion to combine them.
Okay. Alderman Seager, I'm sorry, Alderman Mosio, second by Alderman Seager. Okay, I will put item I and, or I'm sorry, T and U together and read them together, but you know you're voting them as one. Yeah, T and U, okay. The first one, ordinance increasing the number of Class Q casino liquor licenses by 1 for the temporary at American Place Casino, FHR Illinois, 600 Lakehurst Road, 4001 through 4011 Fountain Square Place. This item was previously presented before the Community Development Committee on December 5th, 2022. And item U, the ordinance increasing the number of Class E liquor or restaurant liquor licenses by 2 for the temporary at American Casino Place. Again, FHR Illinois, 600 Lakehurst Road, -4001 through 4011 Fountain Square Place. And this item was previously presented before the Community Development Committee on December 5th, 2022. Any questions to those motions? Okay, roll call, please, Deputy Clerk.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mosio.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Hey, just out of curiosity, has a published date or a date been published yet when they're going to open the temporary place?
No, they're right here. No.
No? Aye. My vote is aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian. Aye. Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed, Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. I, item V, a resolution initiating the, well, we'll talk about the question in a minute. Can I have a first, a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Mozio, a second? Second, this is on item V.
V.
V is in Victor. Mhm. I need a second for this motion. Okay. Okay, so Alderman Mozio, Alderman Hayes was the second. Item V, a resolution initiating the submission of a public question to adopt a nonpartisan election system for local elected officials of the city of Waukegan. This matter was presented to the Committee of the Whole on August 15, 2022, and December 5th, 2022. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton.
No.
Alderman Seager.
Nay.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood. No. Alderman Newsom.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Nay.
Alderman Florian. Nay. Alderman Hayes.
No.
Motion failed.
Item W, X, and Y should probably be heard together. Okay.
Well,
Nope.
hold on, point of order. We take W, and it doesn't pass, X and Y don't need to be voted, or that's not,
I just so you don't have ones that are just sitting there.
Okay.
I think they should be voted on together, up or down, all three together.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was the reason for voting it together? Clarify.
So we would not put the two subsequent referenda would not be able to go on the ballot without the first one. And so if the vote is to not allow it, then the vote should be no on all three. And if the vote is to allow it, the vote should be yes on all three. And so they really work as a unit. And to vote no on one and then have the other two just kind of sitting there would be procedurally just strange. So
Incomplete.
Can I have a motion?
A motion.
Okay, Alderman Rivera to hear W, X, and Y together.
Second it.
Okay, second by Alderman Hayes. Any questions to the motion?
that's just to put them together, that's not the vote, correct? This is the-
It would be the vote, but it's to put them all together. I mean, do you want to separate it out?
it's a motion to consider them omnibus.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
this does not mean that we're putting yes or no on the ballot yet.
No,
no,
that's-
you have a motion and a second to consider them omnibus, and we don't have to vote on that. It's
okay, I
just
just wanna make
basically, we're going to consider them all three together, and then you can have discussion on all three together.
So can we discuss now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Two things I wanted to try to get accomplished in my 20 years up here was nonpartisan elections. Well, that just went down the toilet. I wanted to take the politics out of city government, because party politics, in my mind, in my 20 years, has never gotten down to our level. Me and Alderman Newsom are the two longest-serving aldermen up here. I'm a Democrat. She's a Republican. I don't think anybody votes for either one of us because of what's behind our name. I think they vote for who they think will do the job. The longest-serving alderman in Waukegan history, Larry Tempest, of 44 years, was both. People didn't care what Larry was. They just knew if you called, he came. And up here, he was a bulldog. That's all they cared about. But it is what it is. Now to the city manager. I also wanted to try to get that done. I learned a long time ago, the first rule of coaching is get talent. I've had 5 mayors that I've worked with. And quite frankly, none of them has known how to be a head coach. They either didn't know, didn't have the experience, didn't have the moxie, they didn't know how to do it. With that being said, I figured that a city manager would be better. An owner that buys an NFL team doesn't put himself in charge, he goes and hires a head coach that can get the job done. That's just an analogy. But the way this has been rolled out is terrible. I don't know that the timing would be good in any situation. We could wait to the next mayoral election. That might be messy. The fact that these two other questions are attached to that, which I never knew until recently. I never knew by statute, Stuart obviously clued us in on that. I never knew that the alderman going to at-large or doubling the city council was attached to that. That was never brought to my attention until, I don't know, maybe a month ago. But in my opinion, if we were going to change this dramatic, this should have been rolled out a lot better. It was rolled out piss poor, in my opinion. All those advantages of a city manager, all right? I've been in District 60 for 34 years. They have basically a superintendent, which is a manager, and a school board. There's more goddamn corruption in politics in District 60 than the city's ever had. So that doesn't hold any water with me, lack of corruption. Again, I've had 5 mayors. If everybody knows of a mayor that was corrupt, let me know. We'll walk them across the street to the state's attorney. I don't know what, that's not a selling point for me. The saving the money is not a selling point for me. Okay? Now we have a petition drive. On that petition drive, it says there's 5 aldermen blocking it. Who are the 5 aldermen? Was there a poll taken? Who's the 5 aldermen? We don't know. You can point at me all you want. You don't know how I'm going to vote. You have no idea what I'm going to do. Okay? That doesn't mean anything. Now, as I continue, I've always said that this is the people's government. It's a government for the people, by the people. Something this dramatic, maybe the people should decide. No one up here influenced me on which way I was going. And like I said, all that selling points didn't mean anything. As Clyde just said, you may not like me, but the one thing I'm not going to be is I'm not going to be phony in my last 3 months of my term. I'm not going to be phony. I've wanted this. I think it would have worked. But it's been rolled out so piss poor, I don't know what to do with it. It should have been sold a lot better. It shouldn't have been divisive. It should have been united. This council's divided enough. There's enough mistrust up here. This just further fostered it. That's it.
Anyone else want to speak or?
Yeah, I'll speak. Excuse me. I'm kind of in line with Alderman Moisio. I think the city manager is a good move for us. I think we need it. I think we need that change and that professionalism that it will bring. My concern is that there's just an awful lot of confusion here. And recently, this petition drive that's going on, and I've heard from several of my neighbors that they felt coerced, harassed, harangued, intimidated. They didn't like it, the way it was presented to them. And I don't like it either. You know how I feel about bullies. But that lends itself to more confusion. So here we are as a body discussing it, discussing amongst the public, and yet there's a, and I don't know, Mayor, if you're pushing it, I don't know who's pushing that drive, but it's your agenda. Somebody's out there pushing it, lending more confusion amongst the citizenry, more confusion amongst the council. And I'm not comfortable with that. Also, because it's not my agenda, it's your agenda, I think if we're going to put it up on the ballot, we do it for the next mayoral election. What's the hurry? Why put it up in April? Let it go on the mayoral election ballot in 25. Gives the mayor and whoever other candidates are, they can push it as part of your agenda, their agenda, or not of the competing agendas, however you want to term it. And therefore, it's a broader opportunity to educate the public, put it up for referendum as is required by law. At the same time, you can still continue your petition drive. I would ask that be withdrawn, but that's my thoughts on it. I want to belabor the point. We call for the vote.
Can I answer a couple of questions?
Absolutely.
So, one, we have presented the city administrator where we could ease into this. We've talked about this for 18 months and nothing was getting decided. So there's been frustration in the community of, hey, why can't we just decide? Now, as far as the other components to this with the alderman, I don't think we knew that until, as soon as we knew it, you knew it.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't something that was statute that we didn't really realize was coming into the picture. No matter when you present it, you're going to have those questions with it. It's just not going to go away. But there, from this office, I mean, we've talked about it, we presented it. I mean, December 4th of last year, there was a newspaper article about it. I mean, it's been out there, and we just haven't decided. It's like, how many things have been out there for the longest time with, we finally put it on this agenda about the nonpartisan. You see the dates, August, December. We're just not necessarily good about acting on it. We talk about it, and it sits. So it has to be put on a referendum. It could have been put on last spring, but nobody was ready to do that. Now it can be put on in April, if you're ready to do that. I would not suggest doing it during a mayoral race because a mayor is going to want to come in and know what job are they doing. You know, do they have a city manager? Do they not have a city manager? What form of government are they going into? So one way or the other, a decision has to be made. Yes, it would be nice if we made the decision and not the community having to make it, but there's always been strong support. There was support 20 years ago. I remember Doc Schwab telling me that they tried it then.
Probably 40 years.
Okay. So it has been discussed for the longest time, and the can has always been kicked down the road. So all I've said to you is, hey, some of this stuff we've talked about, let's put it on the agenda. Now, like I said, the statutes are going to happen anyway, no matter when it goes on the agenda. Those have to be addressed. And that comes with educating our public. And that's something we all need to do. That if you are voting yes for that, you're voting yes on all of them. Because you want to stick with your ward alderman, and that's our job to do. But like I said, this has been talked about for the longest time. I mean, certainly when I was out campaigning, it was very prevalent in the wards, in every ward, that it came up. And so, like I said, it's something that we have to decide. It just kicking it down the road again doesn't resolve anything. And then you do leave things up to residents, and you do leave wild cards out there. It's better if we decide it.
Thank you, Mayor. My only comment is that we have been talking about this for a long time. At first, the first barrier was it's a decision that we should not make. So then it was said that it should be put on a referendum and let the citizens make the decision. Now we're pulling back on that. So I can't see us moving forward, and I know that change is difficult, but we have to make a decision one way or another. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
So I just want to echo some of the feedback that I've gotten individually as well as collectively. History has shown also that nonpartisan and city manager has been used and designed to split the vote of those of color. And also it has been echoed to me of your concern that it doesn't work economically to those that are oppressed. So that is challenged economically. So I just want to echo those.
I'm not sure I understand how that affects in minority communities. It actually.
Well, we know in Harold, Washington, it was designed to split that vote of color.
That's how elections work. We split the vote. All vote is split, right? Isn't that how elections work? You split the vote up, right? Somebody's going to vote for it either way. So.
The nonpartisan was Harold Washington.
Yes.
But we're
Correct.
talking about the city manager.
Nonpartisanism, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But this is about the city manager vote. Okay, was there someone down, Alderman Hayes?
Sure, just a few comments. I don't want to lose sight of what we're being called on tonight to do, which is just vote to put it on the ballot so that the citizens of the city of Waukegan can have their voices heard. We are here to answer one fundamental question. Do the citizens of Waukegan have a voice? Clyde, I know you have a voice. You come to every meeting and you express your voice, and you wouldn't want to be silenced. Brother Blanks, you come here with your voice, and I love to hear it at every meeting, and you shouldn't be silenced. You should be able to go, and you should be able to vote. And if you want to vote no, that's okay, but that's your right, and we shouldn't be able to take it away from you. That's what we're being called on here tonight to do, is to put it on the ballot and let people make a decision. I'm not here to try to convince you that city manager is in Waukegan's best interests. I'm here to just appeal to your ethical obligations and your civic duty. What could be more important than allowing the people in our wards, the citizens of Waukegan, to vote on this question? It's already been discussed tonight. What was the word? Monumental, material. This is a shift in city government. Why should 9 of us make the decision? Why shouldn't the community make the decision? Another topic that was raised tonight was division and the potential for unification, right, Greg? I think unity was one of the words that you used. What better opportunity is there for the city council to demonstrate unity and say that the decisions of the voters are bigger than any one person or any one ideology, and maybe, just maybe, we can transcend the popularity contest that's been going on up here? It's absurd. You don't like the way that it was rolled out? Okay, fine. You can still vote to put it on the ballot, and then you have the next 4 months to roll it out in whichever way you want, to convince people yes, to convince people no, to just stand there, propose a question, and listen to an answer, and see what they have to say. It is simply one question that we're being called on to answer tonight. Do the people in each of your wards have a voice? Ours are not the only voices that matter. Ours are not the only voices that should count when making this decision. I know this. I know that you agree with this. Alderman Bolton, I know you agree with it. Alderman Moisio, I know you agree with it. Alderman Newsom, I know you agree with it. And Alderman Turner, I know that you agree with it. I know this because I went back and I listened to our prior city council meetings. Greg, you've been consistent. Consistently inconsistent, maybe. But you have said, I am all for professional management. These are quotes. I'm all for professional management. I've been the biggest promoter of this. I want this as bad as anybody, but I want it done right. I fully support a city manager, but I want it done right. I want it on a referendum. Saying it at city council wasn't enough. It was put in print. Moving to a manager form of government is, quote unquote, long overdue. Alderman Newsom so eloquently stated when we were discussing city administrator. If you want to put it on the ballot for a city manager, have at it. Very plain spoken as usual and very direct, which I really appreciate. It should go to referendum. That's a quote. If there's a need for a city manager, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Then put it to a referendum. Let the people to decide to change the form of government. That is the theme of what it is I'm saying tonight. That is the theme of what we do up here, and that is the oath that we took when we took the office. Alderman Bolton said it best. One sentence. You all need to participate. Why? Why would we discourage participation? Why would we try to silence voices? Why would we try to extinguish people's opinions? Show up and vote. Don't show up and vote. Vote yes, vote no, but it's your choice. It's your choice. It is your opportunity to exercise your right. Why should we be allowed to take it away from you? I think that it can be distilled down to this. I'm not asking you to think like me. I'm only asking you to allow your residents to think for themselves. Greg, I'm going to quote Alderman Moisio again because this quote is really good. Change happens at the speed of trust. You said it. I felt like I was stopped in my tracks. I've remembered it ever since. It's really good, and it's really, really true. And it is as fundamental as the question that I think we're here to answer tonight. But this trust is a two-way street. If we want change, then we need to trust the citizens of Waukegan to show up and make a decision. It's not just trust in us, it's trust in people, that they can show up, they can read the ballot, and they can answer the questions, which we will most certainly market in our own way. We will roll it out however we want, but we are going to give them the opportunity. Do not take it away from the people that come here every meeting, and they beg and they plead for help, and they want their voices to be heard, and they get 3 minutes because that's all that we can afford them. Well, we can stand on their doorstep for as long as it takes and listen to anything that they have to say. And then they can show up and they can vote, and they can really exercise their voice. And that is important. If you show up, if you vote no, if you don't want a city manager, I understand and I respect that. But what I don't respect is a city council taking that vote away from you. Sure, we're called on to pass payroll, to buy a fire truck, to send a fire truck to Mexico. But we are not called on to speak for you when it comes to changing the form of government. Put it on the ballot, give people a voice. I want to two more points. The pastor that gave us the invocation today, I don't want to get this wrong. He said, always remember your word. Aldermen up here have given you their word. When they shot down the prospect of a city administrator, right or wrong, we're past it, but their word was it should go on a referendum. Citizens of Waukegan also have a word that they get to stand by, and it's yes or it's no. But you should be able to check that box. The people want to be heard. Everyone up here owes it to them to give them a voice. We're here to answer one question. Do the citizens of Waukegan have a voice? And the answer to that question is yes. That's all I have. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Alderman Florian have anything to say? She was very...
Alderman Florian, Alderman Turner's asking if you want to speak. I don't, because we can't see you.
Thank you. I would just echo what Alderman Hayes said, that we need to move forward on this and make a decision. I'm 100% in support of putting this on the ballot.
Can we amend the motion? I'd like to amend it to put it on the mayoral election ballot in 2025.
But you're back to not having a mayor that knows what job they're getting into. And
Never
you're
do.
pushing it 2 more years down the road.
Never know what you're getting into with this stuff. I don't see that as a hindrance. You either want to be mayor or you don't.
I mean, we could approve a city manager, put it on the referendum, it could pass, and we may not even have a city manager by that time. Let's start now. This is going to take a lot of time. This could take years. This could take 12 months, it could take 20 months, it could take 24 months. No one knows. We have to find a qualified candidate that can come into this city and do the job. So kicking it down the road for another however many years, and then it's 2 years after that. Before we know it, we're in 2030. Let's make a decision. Let's put it on the referendum. Keith, you said at the last meeting, you were all for it before, and everyone else was all for it. Everyone said. Alderman Seeger, I didn't hear anything when I looked back at the prior meetings. Alderman Kirkwood, I didn't hear anything from you, but everyone else said it should be on the referendum. It should be on a referendum. We are doing what it is you invited us to do. This was your direction. So to bow out now means you're not standing by your word.
Call for the question, please.
Yep, we're going to go ahead and call, roll call, please.
Can I just clarify the first and second? Is it Rivera and Hayes? Correct? Okay. Alderman Bolton?
No.
Alderman Seeger?
Nay.
Alderman Mosio?
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood?
No.
Alderman Newsome?
Nay.
Alderman Turner?
No.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Motion failed.
Next is Alderman time.
Alderman Bolton?
I want to thank all those that have hosted community events. Mr. Edwards for in the First Ward and the Boys and Girls Clubs, hosting and supporting our youth and seeing everyone show up. We had a great time with our youth. I think Allendale, I don't know if you're aware that Allendale now has a program located on Genesee, and they gave us a tour, and this facility provides homeless for our youth. And it's an excellent program, much needed in addressing those that struggle with mental health and addiction and things of that sort. I want to thank the mayor and his staff for providing lunch for us on last Friday. It was great. And if you want to see all the activities, because I've attended so many, you can go to my Facebook page, which is First Alderman, Dr. Sylvia Bolton, right on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman.
Holiday. God bless you. Be safe. Make sure you vaccinate and you wear your mask, because now the vaccine is increasing once again.
Thank you, Alderman Bolton. Alderman Seeger?
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. I know this issue about a manager, it's so confusing. But anyways, being the last meeting for the year, I want to wish everyone throughout Lake County a Merry Christmas and have a happy holiday. Stay safe. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Seeger. Alderman Mosio?
Yeah, before I forget, I think, hasn't the casino, is the mayor here?
She went back.
Stu would know. Hasn't the casino pledged $500,000 to a community endeavor? Stu, am I correct on that?
As part of the development and host community agreement that Full House has pledged, and I believe it starts after their first full year of operation, an annual contribution of totaling $500,000 to one or more community organizations. And that's memorialized. That was something that they actually offered at the state level. That's something that's going to be memorialized in our development and host community agreement, which will be before you on the 3rd.
With that being said, I know everybody, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I know there'll be people lining up to try to get some of that money. In my opinion, the one issue up here that really struck me in my years up here It was homelessness and pads. And we had that facility on Grand Avenue, and it's been difficult. And nobody wants homelessness. Nobody wants that in their backyard. Where do you help these people is troubling because no one wants it next door to them. To me, it's a county issue. I think the county needs to step up, and we need to put the pressure on them to help us step up with that. Because this is not a Waukegan problem. This is obviously a county problem. Because we have the facility here, they come here for services. I mean, we got in a wrangle about letting these people take a shower for crying out loud. My God, maybe if they got a shower, maybe they could get a job. We have people over there telling us, don't put showers in it. I mean, my goodness. My suggestion is to take that money. There's an old OTB on Grand Avenue in Belvedere, old gambling for horses. We need to go to them. We need to work something out. We need to make that a PADS homeless site. It needs to be on a bus route. We got Green Bay and Belvedere right there. It's not in a residential neighborhood. It's huge. And we need to do that. You want to do something for the community that helps people? Fix that. Fix that.
Excellent idea.
You know, all this. I mean, we take CDBG money and we fix sidewalks with it. Really? Come on. Take that money and help fellow humans. Buy that building or figure out how to buy it. People smarter than me can figure out that real estate. Buy it, get that a PAD shelter, and let's help some people. Good night.
Thank you, Alderman Mosio. Alderman Kirkwood.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. First of all, I'd like to congratulate those individuals at the Boys and Girls Club put on a fantastic event on last Saturday. It was a very good time, and many of the alderpersons was there throughout the day. Also, I would like to caution all the residents as the weather is about to change. We need to make sure that we not only shovel our sidewalk areas, but make sure that those streets that have alternate parking, that you move your cars so that the plows can get through. Those streets that are one directional parking, you need to make sure that you move to the other side once they plow through. And we're supposed to get a good amount of snow. Also, I know that we went to court on 200 Julian, where we have approximately 150 families there. Some of them are still wondering, you know, what is going to happen. I've read the agreement. I have some questions regarding the agreement, and when will some of those things take place. I will be speaking with the council that was involved in this, and then see about having a meeting with those residents afterwards. Also, I think it's important that as a council that we make sure that when things come up, we make sure that the information that is given out is correct. And I think that, you know, Alderman Mosio mentioned about the 5. You know, I don't know who the 5 are, but once again, I think that we need to present things in a way that is not divisive. Continue to try to work the betterment for the citizens of Waukegan. Once again, I hope that everyone has a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and be safe out on the streets. Have a good night.
Thank you, Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Newsom.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a prosperous New Year. That's all.
Thank you, Alderman Newsom. Alderman Turner.
Thank you, sir. All right, a couple of things. First, I want to congratulate my shipmate, Marvin Hodo, on his appointment to the Civil Service Committee, and the other appointees that were appointed tonight, ratified their appointments tonight. I think Marvin Hodo brings a fresh perspective. He's a more recently retired police officer, and so he has a more recent connection and understanding of the culture within the PD. I think that's going to serve him well in that position on that committee. You know, last night we had another shooting in the 6th Ward, 900 block of Hickory. Numerous or multiple shots fired into a home. Fortunately, no one was injured or killed. But, I mean, it's really upsetting. Just the number of shots fired calls that we hear. The public doesn't see it, but twice a day we receive reports of significant incidents, and those include shootings, shots fired calls, people shot, serious car crashes, and so forth. Significant stuff, right? But I'm telling you, it's almost daily that I'm reading reports of shots fired, and it seems to me that almost every 2 weeks when I speak at Alderman's time, I'm talking about shots fired and people being shot. So to date, now this is the last meeting for the year, but so far there's been over, excuse me, over 70 shootings, and approximately 10, maybe a little more than 10 people have been killed in gunfire this year, Waukegan. And I'll say what I've said before, you know, it's a little frustrating for me that we will talk about those types of shootings in every other freaking community but our own, right? That woman who was shot down here on McAllister is just very sad. It's distressing to me. But there is an increase in crime in Waukegan. We're seeing an increase in car thefts and carjackings and burglaries and property crimes and so forth and so on. And I want to remind people, I read every day, there's people whose cars are stolen because they leave the car running with the key in the ignition, the engine's running, the doors unlocked. It's a crime of opportunity. Somebody steals your car, you know, and that's something, I don't know how you do that because, you know, I depend on my vehicle. Some of these cars are very expensive. $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 cars being taken. So yeah, just, you know, be mindful. Society has changed. Waukegan has changed. It's not the same Waukegan it was 20 years ago. There are bad actors all over. No one ever thinks that they're going to be the victim of a violent crime or even a property crime, but it happens to people like us all the time. So just be careful. Make your reports to the police if you see something suspicious. Snow is coming. It's wintertime. The hawk is here or will be. And I want to encourage you to check on your elderly neighbors and or shut-ins and help them, shoveling the snow, taking the garbage can in and out. You can do little things that make a big difference to somebody who can't do for themselves. And with that, I'll just wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. New Year filled with health, happiness, peace, and prosperity. Good night.
Thank you, Alderman Turner. Alderman Rivera.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. The last item that we voted on, what was the count on that? It was, I'm sorry? 5-4. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. First, I'd like to offer my condolences to all the Waukegan families who have lost a loved one. Special condolences to the Durkin family and the Reckling family. Congratulations to the inductees to the Waukegan Sports Hall of Fame. It was a great event, and again, it was an honor to be amongst those professionals. As indicated earlier, alternate parking is should be in the forefront. We have snow coming. It's going to be a lot. Please be mindful of that, and also check on your neighbors. A quick well-being check would be greatly appreciated. And I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. God bless you, and thank you for coming to our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Rivera. Alderman Florian? Yeah. Thank you, Alderman Florian. Alderman Hayes?
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Nice job this evening, by the way. First and foremost, just want to wish everybody happy holidays. I know it's an exciting time of year for a lot of people, and I hope that everybody has some loved ones or some friends and family that they can spend time with. My son Oliver turned 4 yesterday, so I just want to wish a happy birthday to my big guy. He had a great day, and it's just I love him so much. So I told him I was going to give him a shout out. Yes. Which puts a smile on my face after the debate that we just had up here. So with that said, I want to express one additional point of concern because it's going to cause my head to explode. To hear Alderman say that the language on the referendum is confusing when this has been discussed for months, weeks, months, and years, it's so concerning that you could possibly be confused. I'm talking to the Alderman, that you could possibly be confused at this point. To not understand 3 paragraphs when you have had the time to ask the questions and, more importantly, listen to the answers is mind-boggling. This community has racial and economic divides that run deep, and we have issues that need to be solved. Environmental issues. We have forever chemicals, and we have coal ash ponds. We have ETO. We have lead lines. If you think the referendum language is confusing, then how are you going to help solve, or at least ask the right questions and listen to the answers when it comes to those items? How about crime? No one has a solution for it, but it is way more complex than whether to vote yes or no to put something on a referendum. If you are confused by the language that is being proposed for a referendum, then you don't belong to sit up here. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Hayes. Madam Mayor, that concludes Alderman time.
Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. Happy holidays. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
Okay, Alderman Rivera, Alderman Turner, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
8:54.
Okay. I know. Well, happy holidays.